Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. Yet again, I brought another fantastic guest. Tonight is a special night. We're just doing a one-on-one, and our guest tonight is none other than Phil Russert. What's up,
Hey, how
Phil?
are you, man? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. Um, so, Phil, please, real quick, introduce yourself, sir.
Phil Russert, former musician, husband, father of two, nurse by day, publisher, distributor by night. Um, Basically, I was an art rep for a while. I ran conventions successfully in Long Island, New York. Um, Writer, editor, publisher, and now distribution.
All right, cool. All right, so let's start. All right, I promised myself to ask you a bunch of questions about the about Philbo distribution, and so here we are. And if anybody in the chat wants to chime in and just if you got a question, please just ask it, and
Hey,
I'll do
Marvin.
my best to pull up. What's up, Marvin? What's up, Michael? So Phil, now what was your reasoning? Like I have an understanding of why you're doing it, but for the others, for everyone else, what's your reasoning for starting up a distribution company? Like what was that process you had to go through to say, you know what, this is something I need to do?
Well, there's a few reasons, but the main reason is I really just want to show my daughters that if you work hard and you go fearless and you put the effort in, you can have the life you want. That's like the personal reason. But as far as the industry, just under 2 years ago, I went with tragedy to Diamond. They rejected it and gave a really weird reason. They said that it had to be 2 years ahead of schedule, which is not true.
Mhm.
Because I ran conventions, I know a lot of well-known people in the industry, and they were all like, "What?" and some publishers and stuff. So they went to bat to me, said, "Why you should really let this guy in? Why are you saying no?" They didn't respond, and then you started hearing the rumblings and things like that, and I started to think maybe they just weren't taking new people on because they were dealing with stuff. I don't know. Maybe just they didn't think what I had was good enough, which is fine. Um, and I'm one of those people that if I don't like the way something's being done, I'm just going to do it myself.
Mhm.
I'm fine with putting the grind in. And I felt, look, I'm not trying to disparage Diamond, but they did gatekeep. They decided if they thought it could sell or not was their determining factor. Like, obviously, there are some people that aren't ready for distribution. They need to be able to hit that monthly deadline or quarterly or whatever it is you're doing. And maybe the books aren't looking professional. I understand that form of gatekeeping, but
Mhm.
they would go by they didn't like the art or they didn't think it'd be sellable or whatever. So it was really hard because there are a lot of great independent books that deserve a chance to be in the ring. And I'm the type of guy that I'm okay if I get in the ring and I get knocked out. If I just wasn't good enough and you beat me, fair enough. But life isn't a spectator sport and I'm not going to watch it go by. So don't tell me I can't get in the ring. So if you won't let me in the ring, I'm going to let myself in the ring. And that's it. And so I started to do it, and I looked at all these people that are on Kickstarter using it as distribution. And honestly, I think it's a misuse of crowdfunding, and it's changed crowdfunding a lot. Um, I love crowdfunding. I think it's a wonderful platform, by the way. Um, but it should be one tool in the belt, not the only option for a lot of people, right?
Mhm.
So I was like, I started accumulating my own. At first was how do you find a way to get a proper list of all the stores? Because that's really hard and it's tedious.
Yeah.
And I found a way, and it took months and sleepless nights getting this list together. And which then ironically Diamond through the bankruptcy released their list and got everything anyway. But
Right.
it was good because it confirmed that my list was legit. I mean, it was like 96% accurate as far as
Mhm.
stores. Of course, Diamond's list has a lot more
Yeah.
other things, but um and I just started building the structure, but paying attention to what the industry was doing, what was going on, how things were happening. I structured my business that I thought it was fair for everyone. It protected publishers, but it was also fair to stores because look, we love stores. Retailers are the front line. They let us in, but Diamond did some things that, like making it a niche market where you only went through stores. Now stores are a form of gatekeepers too because if they don't want to give your book a chance, it could possibly sell well, but if they're not willing to give it a chance and order it, well then you're not getting a chance. So there were a lot of obstacles for independent people with tighter budgets or no big names or branding. So I wanted to provide a platform, an outlet, a voice for people that deserve a chance to fight. I'm not saying anybody should get handed a win. No way. I believe in the free market, and I believe if your book is good enough, it will eventually sell if you keep grinding and you push. I don't believe anybody should tell you otherwise. The free market should decide. And I just wanted to offer something that allows that.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. One of the things I heard in one of the issues that I've been hearing the retailers have, right, is that they voiced is your payment method,
Yes.
right? So I was curious because like I said, I didn't look into it because I wanted to save it for this conversation, right?
Sure.
I'm trying to come at it from, a blank slate type of mentality, mostly for the viewers, right? So for clarity's sake, are you looking for payment? Are you invoicing them at point of that they order the book, like from your catalog, like let's say now, or are you invoicing them when you're about to ship the books?
Great question. I thought about invoicing when I'm about to ship the books, and I decided it's a bad idea, and I'll get into why. So it's a prepay system in a cart. We have a 60-day window. The FOC locks. Like say we launch the catalog July 1st, the FOC locks on September 1st. The stores can put whatever they want in their cart for the 60 days, and they don't have to pay until the last day right before the FOC locks if they don't want to, or they can pay early. It's up to them. The reason why I do this prepay is several reasons. Diamond, when they had high volume through Marvel, DC, etc., when you do what you call a net 30 or a net 60, it's okay, right? Because people need these books, and Diamond has the leverage. So no, stores aren't going to say, "Oh, I'm not going to pay," or "I can't pay," because they need to get those Marvel and DC books the following month. So Diamond had the leverage. When Diamond lost the big accounts and they were dealing with the smaller accounts now, which is more comparable to what I'm doing, but they still had even bigger accounts than me, there were millions in unpaid invoices.
Yeah.
Now, here's the reality. You're spending $10,000 or whatever a payment comes in for Lunar, right? A 60-day invoice on Lunar. Your kid's getting braces this week. It's a bad economy currently, and the stores are struggling. And now you get your little bill of $200 from me, $300 from me, and you don't have it. Well, they're not going to pay it because the Marvel DC is the bread and butter in their mind. With all due respect, the few stores that have voiced opinions about this are the same stores that told me privately, "You need us, we don't need you."
Right.
So I'm supposed to trust when you tell me that. That doesn't garner a trustful thing here to net 60. So, and then you look at Diamond is selling off inventory and they have to go to court and spend court fees to try to get their inventory back. Look, my system is fair to everybody. It's simple. They prepay. It's kind of asking for a net 30 on my side, which is true. They prepay and then the books go out the month later because we need 30 days for them to send me the books and ship them to me based on the order quantity. Because a lot of these small independent guys, they do print on demand. They cannot do offset printing because they can't sit on 2,000 books of inventory,
Right.
I could store it, but who wants to sit on that inventory? They're not venture capitalists to be throwing this money out and into the ether and hoping that it sells. And when the stores are saying you're back at the catalog and you don't want to give them a chance, well, then you can't expect me to say, okay, you can owe me the money later. These are small orders. They're the biggest order we had was $400 and something, and with all due respect, strong stores can easily pay a $400 bill ahead of time. Now, if they're concerned I'm not going to ship the books, let's look at what's a more realistic scenario, okay? I spent 2 years, I'm not putting a lemonade stand on a lawn. I started a distribution company.
Right.
And I put a lot of time, money, and investment into this. If I don't ship them the books and I keep the books, I'm a pariah in the industry. I can no longer publish my own books. I ruined my distribution company. I have publishers coming after me, retailers coming after me, Bleeding Cool writing articles about how I stiffed everyone. Does that sound like a likely scenario for me to put all this effort in to steal a couple $1,000s? That just doesn't make sense. But I invoice someone 60 days later for an $80 bill for the 15 books, 60 whatever 30 books they order, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a hard month and they've got a $10,000 lunar bill. I mean, Diamond had millions in unpaid invoices.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm protecting publishers, but I'm still being fair to stores because they're going to get their books. And it's one shipment a month, so they're saving money on shipment, right? They're not getting shipments every week because the orders aren't big. We just launch and we put it one day each month, and they'll have their books ahead of time. So, and when you do the prepay, it also, one store like thought this was me being condescending and arrogant. It's not. It's just a fact. You have more control over your pay. I mean, how many people complain that Diamond sent them an invoice, you owe this money, and they were like, why? I pay every month. What is this for? And Diamond's like, well, look in your records. We just want our money. And now you got to fumble through your records to find out if this is legit. And none of that happens. You got the money, you put it in, you pay, you're good to go. If you had a rough week, then okay, I won't buy it this week. I'll wait until next week because I got 2 months to order. You're in more control of your finances this way. And to be honest with you, every other aspect of retail deals with prepay. This is the only aspect that doesn't, and it failed. I mean, even Lunar has an option for prepay. They haven't mandated it, but they have an option for prepay.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of stores, look, we have over 500 stores signed up, so there are plenty of people that are fine with the terms.
Okay. So that being the case, with the 500 stores, do you see? All right. So you already shipped one batch of books, right?
Not yet. The first shipment goes. FOC is September 1st,
September
and
1st.
we tried to help out Zenoscope. So what was supposed to be October release, FOC, we put their Septembers on there because of what Diamond did to them. Mm-hmm. So we will be shipping their books out first, and then the October books will go out right after.
Okay, that's cool. Now, as far from your perspective, I'm not asking for any specific numbers. How's it looking? How's it looking sales wise?
Well, I'm a new distributor. We're Indy Books, so sales aren't through the roof. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like we've done thousands of books. We've sold hundreds of books.
Okay.
But again, we literally are less than 2 months in our first catalog. We haven't fulfilled. I think, for one thing, a lot of the stores have communicated to me they're waiting towards the end of the FOC to place the order, which I understand. Right. So we've actually been getting a lot more orders in this week, and I imagine the coming 7 to 8 days we'll probably get more orders. So I understand that, but also I'm sure that some are sitting back waiting to see if I fulfill the orders properly. Look, I'm new, and they have a right to want me to earn their trust and show them I can do it. That they're packed right, they're on time, and I'm all for that. You should. You're running a business. This is your livelihood. I've come out of nowhere to them, and I'm going to have to prove myself, and I'm okay with that, So I think after the Zenoscope ships and everything, and the Devil's Due, and we get into that October release, there's going to be more confidence in people that, okay, this guy's legit. He knows what he's doing. He didn't rob me. Everything worked out, and it's good to go.
All right, that's cool. Something else, another item that I've heard of concern from some of the retailers, obviously, the discount rate, right?
Right.
So I know you have, you're giving 40% off to the retailers. You're taking 10% for your cut.
Nope, I don't take 10%. I take 5%.
Oh, you take 5%. Okay, so okay, and then how much are you giving back to the?
50 back to the publisher. Now, there's a reason for that. So, again, most of them do offset printing. Print costs are through the roof. Printers are charging astronomical numbers. So these people, if they're lucky, walk away with 5 cents a book if they're not losing on a book. Lunar, see, they keep comparing me to Lunar, which I don't think is a fair comparison. Let's compare me to Lunar on a legit level, right? I don't force a minimum on anybody. If you want to buy 5 books, you buy 5 books. Okay. Now, if they're telling me we're Indy, they're not going to buy a lot. So say you buy 20 books from me. If you buy 20 books from Lunar, they charge you 35. You only get 35% discount.
Right.
You have to spend $1,000 or more a week to get the 48, 50% discount.
Right.
So if you want to compare apples to apples, I give a 5% better discount. Okay. Now,
Right.
if you buy 10 or more of any specific title, I give you 50% off, but they don't want 10 of any given title. That's their choice. Wholesale is all about wholesale bulk pricing for bulk orders.
Right.
There's no other retail in the world where you get to order 4 and you get a wholesale, 50%,
Right.
60% off. It's not reasonable. And the guys that are complaining, let's be honest, they're telling me they want 50, 60% discount, free shipping, and a net 60.
Right.
Does that sound like reasonable business for me? I mean, it's great for them, but again, it's not great for them because then our books are not going to sell. These people are going to go under, and there's no books left. But again, these are people that's saying that they don't care about these indie books. They're back of the catalog. They don't care. So of course they don't. They want to make as much as they can off of us and then move on. If it was Marvel and DC, they wouldn't expect that. They again, you want to spend $4,000 on my distribution every month? I will absolutely give you 50%, even more. But you're not doing that. So let's stop making these false comparisons of 40% to Lunar's 50%. No, it's what you would order from me, and you order the same amount from Lunar. I give a 5% more discount. Period. So I'm sorry, but no, it's honestly not a fair comparison. And again, you're shipping once a month. So the shipping costs, if you break them down into the books, is cents on the dollar. So if it's a $4.99 book and you're getting 40% off, you pay $3 for the book. If you count your shipping, maybe a quarter comes off of that. So you know what I'm saying? So you're making $1.75 a book. No, it's not a large thing, but you're not losing money. And someone I've heard, you have to sell 2 books to make the money off one. The math doesn't math.
No.
It doesn't. It doesn't math at all.
No.
It doesn't math. Now, if you were spending shipping weekly on different orders, yeah, it starts to add up. But it doesn't add up with one shipping. And by the way, that person who made that critique didn't even know my model, and they admitted it to me in a private chat. So let's at least get the facts before we bash me in Facebook groups.
Right.
And look, I believe in a free market. I think it's great that Massive is out there. I think it's great that we have all these distributors. I think Panelfly and ICV2 are providing great services. I don't see them as threats or competition. I'm not here to spy on them like I've been spied on. I'm not looking to do any of that. I think it's wonderful because I think choice helps keep costs down. It makes consumerism stronger. So I salute Panelfly, ICV2, Massive, Lunar, Universal, all of them. Let's do this together. Let's just get books out there, get readers in the stores, help retailers make money, and make the publishers successful. I'm not for the hate. I get it. I get a lot of people who are hating on me. They saying stuff, but at least let me deliver one book before you come guns a-blazing. I haven't even delivered a book yet. Crazy. And it's a small amount of people talking, but
yeah, but sometimes they scream the loudest though.
Right.
They tend to scream the loudest. So I got something to add with the discount rate. Consider of it what you will, something to maybe mull over. Have you considered a variable rate that the publisher could offer? So let's say if I'm
the publishers have a choice. If they want to throw 50% out there, even if you buy 2 books, they can. That's on the publisher. I don't gatekeep the publishers, but they can't. If you're going to order 3 books, they're losing money if they give 50%. They just can't. We would love to give a bigger discount, but we can't. And unless the stores want to start ordering and give us a chance, we can't. Again, bulk pricing comes with bulk ordering. That's retail 101. And nobody, if you own a restaurant, you don't get to go to Restaurant Depot and go in there and get bulk pricing for buying 2 of something, pulling it out. You go to Costco, you don't pull 1 box out of the pack of 3 and expect to get the same price as the 3 and then tell them, I'm going to pay you in 60 days. Send me an invoice. I'll see you later. It doesn't work that way. And it didn't. And Diamond went under because of this.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is, if a publisher wants, they can say, listen, I'm willing to give up this extra percentage to the retailers. Okay, that's good, because I didn't know that. All right. Like I said, I'm trying to cut. Like I didn't read your page.
No,
like
it's good.
It's blank.
I told you before we came on, I wanted you to hit me with these questions. Throw them at me because I have legit answers for all of them.
Okay, so that's good. So if anyone's listening, you're a publisher. Just remember that. If you want, you could tell you could tell your local retailer, look, I give an extra 10% off to Phil, and that way you can get your 50% off.
And I don't mean this to be disparaging by any means, but I don't charge you ahead of time just to list your book in my catalog, and I'm the one getting crap.
Right. Yes.
You know why I'm getting crap? Because I'm changing the mold, and I'm a threat to some people that have been very comfortable for 30 years. Yeah. And I get that it's hard. After 30 years to see some little nobody that you don't know come in and look to change up the rules, yeah, you're going to hate me. I get it. But I'm used to hate. I'm used to people coming at me. I'm used to people trying to disparage me. They don't stop me.
What is this? There you go. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
So, all right, where were we?
So we had talked about the percentage, and yeah, publishers have the right to choose what they want.
No, that's great because, like I said, I didn't know that. So it's one of those things where I'm like, because it depends because I know of printers, in China that you can print at. It takes a little bit longer for you to get your books, obviously, but the prices are very, very competitive. And if anybody is looking to print, you can reach out to me. I'll send you the website. Actually, it's Quinn.
Yeah, that'd be great. Because again, I'm making this statement live to all the retailers hating on me. Yeah. If we can get our print costs down to where we can have a decent profit margin, I am happy to give you the 50% off. We are all happy to do that. We want you to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is. Is like if we can get down the printing cost to 50, 60 cents.
We can't. You know what we're paying? $275 to $305.
That's POD printing prices, though. That's
right,
insane.
Because most of them are paying print on demand. They can't invest $3,800 into buying 3,000 books to get it down to $1.05. They can't.
Well, what's funny is, like I said, if you go to Quinn Printing, it's QIN Printing, you can print 500 books, 32 pages, full color. I think it's like $500. But shipping is also going to probably be another $500.
Right.
You understand? So that's just what it is. So, and I don't know if they'll drop ship. So you might have to receive them and then reship them. Right. They might drop ship. I don't know. I haven't printed with them yet, so I don't know. So they might be willing to send you your books, and then they will get their books. Let's say for order 300. So on and so forth. So I don't know if they'll drop ship.
And it's stuff I'm constantly looking into to get print costs down. We again. I am not an adversary of anyone. I'm not here looking to hurt anyone. I'm trying to be as fair to everyone as possible. I'm sorry, what do you mean by the flat percentages?
Yeah. Okay. So Marvin's saying they do send directly to distributors because I know Marvin used them, and they were shipping to directly to Diamond. Flat percentages. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if you could just that's Mark. If you can just clarify on that so that we can give you a good answer on that. All right. The other thing I saw, and you just said it, you have 500 retailers, right? That are signed.
A little over, just over. Yeah, we broke 500. Yeah.
Nice. So of those 500, how many do you feel are actually ordering?
Or how many? Right now, honestly, of the 500, we're at about 24% of them have ordered. And from what they're saying, we'll probably get up to about 32% in this first order. But again, we're just starting out. So look, I'm very transparent. I'm not gonna blow smoke up anybody's ass. I'm new. It's a slow grind and it's a start. And I'm okay with that. I like to under promise and overperform at all times.
Okay. Listen, that's fair. You understand? Because the thing is anyone who's been in this game on any level, right, doing indies knows how tough it is. Period. Right. You understand? And to survive, I mean, you've been in the game a long time, right? I've been in the game for a long time. I've seen a lot of people come and go, and it's tough. It is tough. Yep. It's a tough business. And that's the part that I think people don't realize. It's a business, right? I always tell people it's my very expensive hobby, right? but I treat it like a business.
You have to.
Right.
When money's involved, you have to.
Right. I mean, I have to file my taxes every year. I have to do all that stuff.
Right.
I have artists to pay. And look, whatever money I take in, I give it right back to the artist. It's like, here you go. I don't see any of it.
And again, knowing the industry like I do, my business model is also built to sustain. It's built because I'm not a venture capitalist. I am not here to throw out tons of money in the hopes that I'll get it back. That's not smart business. My model is built so it's fair to everyone, but I can also grind it out, and it'll be a slow build because no one should expect this to be a quick build. I tell every publisher that signs up, and we're at about 70 right now, just so you know.
Nice.
I tell every one of them, look, I don't know if you're going to sell 0 books, 5 books, 500 books. I have no clue. This is new, and you can't expect the worst, but work for the best.
Right.
And that's all you can do because I don't have the answers. And, after a few order windows, I'll start to get an idea. And, obviously you'll collect data and you'll be able to start letting people know. But we do give sales reports to the publishers, and we will give the PO at the FOC September 1st. So, it's a legitimate structure that I understand there's going to be some resistance. I don't fault anybody for being skeptical about this. I don't. But I'm not going to lie. You make it personal when you go on posts when you've never met me, I've never shipped 1 book, and you're insulting. Like you're out and out insulting and bashing the company. It's like, that doesn't sound like honest criticism or concern. It sounds like you just want to get rid of me because I'm a problem, and I'm an Irishman. We fight and we drink, and I don't drink. So, what I'm saying?
Only one option left. There you go.
Yeah. And again, I'm not here to be adversarial with anybody. I'm just trying to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And if you think I'm part of the problem, okay. Quietly go your way and I'll quietly go mine. That's all. It's that simple.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you think at some point, right? And here we'll layer it, right? Do you think at some point, or at what point do you think it would be viable to have a physical catalog printed and shipped out?
Dude, that is so much money out the window.
Oh, I know.
It's absurd. I don't even if I was making hand over fist money, I'd rather take that money and turn it back into the business in other ways. Because to be honest with you, most people these days, you're a store and now you've got 4 distributors to look at, right? Do you really want to be going through 4 different catalogs and then you got to go back and what's the order code and go into the computer? This is easy. You just go in, point and click. I want this book. I want this book. I want this book. So I think digitally just works better and is more efficient for the stores, especially now that they have all these options. It's not like it's just Diamond anymore. Just wondering what.
Just want to consider what the most percentage-wise the publisher can accept.
55% is the highest the publisher would get. Look, I'm only taking 5% for what I do. And someone may ask, well, how can you have such a low cost? Well, it's real simple. I don't do a physical catalog. I own my warehouse space. I have 1 quote unquote employee, and the rest are fee for service people that do my fulfillment once a month for me, or a few times they come in and pack up, and because we do the once a month orders. So there's ways to keep my costs down. There's a lot of ways to keep your costs down. I've structured this. I've thought about this. I've worked this out for 2 years almost. So I can do 5%. And again, based on how I'm structured, if you don't sell any books, I didn't do any work. Right. I didn't pack anything. So, I spent some time, I'm paying employees, but I'm making money. People are selling books. And the more volume you get, the more that 5% becomes. But the publishers need to thrive or there's nothing going on the shelves. Retailers said to me, yeah, but if without us, you have nobody to sell it. It's not really true. It's easier to go. We love retailers and we thank them, But there are so many other ways to sell books these days that this is why a lot of people don't go through distribution, because it's such a losing model for them financially. But you can go to Kickstarter and you can make 2, 3, 4 grand on a bad campaign, 10, 20 on a really good campaign. And, you're making some money there where you're losing 5 cents a book on retailers, so I had to find a way to make it fair and worthwhile to publishers. And at the same time, it's still fair to retailers. And when you see that Lunar's only given 35% on this level, I thought 40% was fair. I didn't match Lunar. We're little guys, and I still tried to do more than Lunar. So I'm trying to work with retailers.
Gotcha. All right, cool. So we talked about so medium average sale or median average sale for books currently. What do you think it is? Where do you think that's falling? Like if someone just put a book on your book per store, are they looking at like 2 books per store, 1 book per store?
Well, that's actually been the wonderful thing. These stores are independent supporters. They sell independent books very well. So most orders have actually been a nice blend of a lot of different books. And they've been, again, these aren't huge orders compared to like Marvel and DC.
Right,
but we're getting $200, $300, $400 orders. We're getting a good couple hundred books. People are ordering. We do have some publishers that we're doing pretty well in Diamond. That even if you may not have known them well, like Dren Productions. We do have Antarctic Press with Zenoscope, and I'm very grateful and happy. Tragedy has been selling very well. Actually, we're actually right behind Zenoscope and Antarctic Press. Now, that's not to say there aren't some books that unfortunately, haven't sold yet, or some that have only sold 5 to 10. But that happened in Diamond too.
For sure.
The publish. I do a lot more marketing than any other distributor. Like I have my show tomorrow night, my preview show. But I'm not the marketer. The publishers have to market their books. They have to cold call stores. They have to get store signings. They have to grind. They have to advertise. They have to put it out there. That's not my responsibility, even though I do share in some of it. I do a newsletter to try to help them. We do the weekly preview show where we take a publisher, put them on. Tomorrow we have Monarch Comics, and we show what's in the catalog and talk about the books. So I'm doing little things that I can. Everybody gets a full page in my catalog for each title.
Right.
And we go in alphabetical order, so it's fair. Even Philbo Publishing is under P. I didn't put myself at the top because it's my distribution. I could have. I didn't. It's in alphabetical order, fair and square.
By title or company?
By company.
By company.
Because it's easier for you to find by this publisher's reputable. Let's see what they got to offer this month, instead of Antarctic Press's books are all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What we do need to add to the website, and we're working on things, is a search engine for specific titles.
Okay, cool. So adding on to that with the promotion is, here's something to think about, or I don't know if you've thought about it and maybe have it in the planning stages, is have you thought of maybe opening up like a Facebook group or a Discord where your publishers can have direct contact with retailers for them to pitch stuff, so that the publisher can go in, like, if you have like a group,
Right.
in Facebook, you can say, hey, listen guys, blah, 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 where all the retailers will be like, look, you guys can subscribe here. All the publishers are going to. Have you thought of something like that? Maybe
I keep going back and forth about it, because business pages and group pages on Facebook get no traction. They bury you. That's why I do all my stuff off my Phil personal page. I'll get over 100 likes on that. My Philbo Publishing, what do I get, 4? So that's why I'm kind of iffy about that. But the other reason is I don't have the time to admin a page like that. If I could find a reliable admin, maybe. But I am working on other things, getting into libraries, getting back spinner racks. We're rebranding a little bit, and we're moving to a better website that's even more user friendly, because we've had a few glitches with this one we're not happy about. So we're looking to improve the internal workings. Of course, there's a little trial and error when you're new. You could plan, best laid plans, right? So we constantly, when we come into something, all right, how do we improve this? Maura Powers is my product manager. She's been freaking phenomenal. So, I'm essentially a one-man gang besides Mora. We're a two-man gang, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So, we roll out things as when I have the time, because I'm still a publisher too. I still have a book coming out every month.
Right.
And I still do Kickstarters for other titles, and I still publish other people from international publishers. So, and I have a day job as a registered nurse that I work a good 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I'm
You're
great
busy.
because I don't sleep.
Yeah, you're busy.
Pretty much.
Very much.
I do this because I love the medium. I had a rough childhood. Comic books kept me away from drugs and alcohol and jail. They helped me dealing with PTSD and anger management, and I love comics. I think they're the greatest medium in the world. And I was feeling really sad about the industry because I just saw a lot of grifting going on. And people get mad at me for this, but it's the grifters that get mad at me. The people get mad at me, look at what they're doing, you go, oh, that's why. But anyway, I call it straight and I'm honest. And people don't like that. Some people do. I don't care. The fact of the matter is, I love this industry. I love the medium. I love storytelling. And I appreciate every aspect of it, whether it's the creator or the retailer and all they do to put in there. But some people, it's just they don't want to work a 9 to 5 and they're just doing this because it's easy money for them, whatever the case may be. And look, you do you. If you've got a demographic for that, good. All right, I'm not knocking you, and I'm not going to disparage anyone's business. But I do this because I honestly, sincerely care. That's not a line of shit. It's not an act. It's not a joke. And the proof is in the pudding, because I'm doing everything I can to be part of the solution if possible. I mean, I don't sleep. I kill myself at this. And there's a promise of reward, So I'm not going to lie. It does bother me when I see someone put up some stupid post bashing me without even giving me a chance. Why not try to support and lift and be part of the solution, be a community instead of toxic? Because there's too much toxicity as it is. And that's, did we read the source material? It's about heroes, guys. It's about heroes, Now, I'm not perfect, and I'm not here to act like some self-righteous guy. I'm not a savior. I don't have all the answers. I'm not some awesome dude. I don't always handle things right. I don't always respond correctly. I have my temper. I get it. But I'm trying. So stop shitting on me and just sit back and see what happens.
All right, cool. So on a technical aspect, barcodes. Do you want barcodes on the books?
You have to have UPCs or ISBN depending on what the book is and the format of the book. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
The only gatekeeping I have are as follows. You must have the proper barcode. You must meet whatever the schedule is. The publishers even set their schedule. If they tell me I can't meet a monthly and they want to do it every other month, that's fine. I recommend you try to be in people's faces as much as possible. So I think monthly is the better way to go. But if you can't and you want to try every other month or quarterly, okay, let's do it. But you better get me those books on time. Period. That's it. And the last thing, the two other criteria is it just has to be professional looking. It can't look like a 5-year-old did the logo. I'm sorry, it can't. The artwork is subjective. So I don't have to love the artwork, but it has to be professional level sequential storytelling. It can't be stick figures. It can't look like a 12-year-old kid drew it. I'm sorry, but it just can't. We have to have a certain standard. And the final criteria is if you have nude variant covers, I want them black bagged. Kids, we want kids back in stores. And no one should go in and pick up Oswald and see a woman spread eagle right next to it on the rack. If I'm a parent, I'm not bringing my kid in that store again. It hurts retailers. It hurts publishers. It hurts distributors. Just black bag them. I am not saying you can't put your nude variants out. Black bag them. We put them in the catalog. The stores will see them. They'll say, oh, I want that one. They'll know what it looks like based on the catalog, but you black bag them when they go into stores. That's it. That's my criteria.
Okay. Listen, that's all fair. All that is fair. My last question, right? Well, for the distribution part, because do you feel that publishers who have material that's pre-printed, do they have like some kind of edge against other publishers who are just like printing from the moment that they get the order?
Yes, because usually they have it pre-printed because of the money they made for it on Kickstarter, so those books are already paid for.
Hmm.
So, the overhead is gone,
Right.
and they can get their books out to me on time. The only overhead they have is shipping to me directly from them, but they would have to pay for the printer to do it anyway. So,
Hmm.
there's a huge benefit if you have stock already. The thing is, though, a lot of these people who had stock, they didn't have barcodes because they're on Kickstarter. So what I told them was, get barcode stickers
Hmm.
and just put them on the book. And if you don't want to put them on the actual book because you're concerned, about collectability, it's a little bit of an expense, but just bag the book and put the barcode on the bag.
Hmm. Okay.
There's ways around everything, man. You just got to
Mhm.
think outside the box, and we can make it work.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. I like it. So Phil, I mean, like, we've been talking about your distribution company, right? We have yet to talk about, your books. Like, talk to me about your publishing company. Like, how long? How like I don't even like we've been in the same sphere for a while, but I don't know how long. How long have you been in the game? How long have you been self-publishing?
Well, I've been self-publishing since 2021, and we have probably about uh, we've probably had about 28 Kickstarters.
Hmm.
I have my flagship title, Tragedy. We have a good, I don't know, 10 to 12 titles out there. Um, we sell Tragedy sells very well. I mean, when I was doing consignment in stores across the country, we were getting reorders and reorders and reorders.
Hmm.
The Kickstarters were doing well. We came out of the gate doing over 10 grand. Thankfully, to all the backers, thank you. Um, it's been reviewed really well by the late great Peter David, Howard Mackey, and Chuck Dixon.
Hmm.
And we have big covers that from Will Spatasio and Bill Sienkiewicz and Chris Pachalo and David Mack and stuff. So, we work with professionals. And Ricardo Silva has just been phenomenal in the book, and Chris Sotomayor, who has been a colorist in the industry for 30 years, he's done probably 60% of the books in your collection were colored by him. He
Hmm.
does my interiors and some of my covers. He's just been amazing with me. Thank you. Alex Sinclair colors a lot of my covers. Thank you to him. Um, and and I'm not saying this to be braggadocious because I'm very humbled by it, but everybody who gives my books a chance and reads them comes back running to me, telling me how much they love them. Even my horror book, true horror fans, because I don't want to be that guy in American Idol that sucks, but because everybody lied to me,
Hmm.
I embarrassed myself. I have really tough critics that I surround myself with. I want them to tell me if it's shit or what needs to fix. I want them to tell me. So I'm not going to get better if I can't take the criticism. And I just want to say there is a difference between criticism though and just hit pieces. There is a difference. I don't
Yeah.
like hit pieces, but I can absolutely take criticism. And criticism is, this didn't work in my opinion. This is why I don't think it worked, and this is how I think you can fix it. That's legitimate criticism that's looking for you to be better. So Tragedy is being relaunched at #1 with new covers, new colored covers and everything, the barcodes now, etc. And
Hmm.
they're in this catalog. And October 1st, issue 1 comes out. We have covers by Will Spatasio, Kreese Young Sung Lee, Alex Sinclair, Bill Sienkiewicz. And we're doing a big signing at 2 stores in Long Island on October 15th with Will Spatasio, Chris Sotomayor, Alex Sinclair, Kreese Young Sung Lee, and little old me. I mean, I'll be sitting there hiding while everybody's probably selling books and making money or whatever, and I'll be like, "You want to buy my book?" But it's gonna be fun, and I'm hoping people come out. Fourth World Comics, Fourth World believes in independence. Scott Snyder, that's his store.
Hmm.
Scott Snyder lives near me, and that's
Right.
his store. Because before Scott Snyder was anybody, they believed in him and they supported him, so he's loyal to them. And I don't know if it means they believe in me, but they've been really great and supportive to me. So I'm really grateful to Fourth World for that. I just want to say they're an amazing store out here in Long Island. They support Indy. They're very good people. The owner, Terrence, is just a hell of a nice dude. Zach, all the crew. And they've been really supportive, and I'm looking forward to the signing there.
Okay. Cool. Nice. Nice. Are you still doing Kickstarters? Are you still doing campaigns?
Yeah, I have a few to fulfill right now. DM Ray's here. He has his book, The Madcaps, which he's the creator, but I publish it for him. He lives in Canada. It's a great D&D fantasy book. Book 2 is going to be fulfilled very soon. We're going to go to printer in about a week. And then 3 will come out and conclude the series, and then we'll probably do a collected trade. I just released Papa issue 1, chapter 1, which is it's a Silver Age tale that's been reviewed really well. Shaman, Diary of Dread, Dynamics coming out, Withered. I'm writing a fantasy novel that's coming out, Sovereign Tedium, and Arcane Syndicate, which got great reviews. It's the Universal Monsters as a government agency, like a super team,
Right.
and people have loved that book. I am so grateful for the reviews that have been coming in about that book. I had a guy tell me I've been collecting comics for 35 years, and this is the most fun I've ever had in reading a comic. I mean, if that's the only good review I ever got, that's good enough for me, man.
Nice. I actually do have another question. So for publishers, do you think it's wiser for them to do single comic book issues like monthlies, or to do trades?
See, it's a fantastic question, and everybody thinks I'm wrong, and I respect that. But people say trades are the way to go. Now, I do understand with the floppies, because the profit margin with the printing is hard. It's very hard in distribution with floppies. But what was one of the major critiques of old school collectors that partly made them drop off and they don't read comics anymore? Rebooting at #1 all the time.
All right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They like ongoing series. Retailers like ongoing series. It's revenue. You build momentum. With a monthly, you have a chance at building a fan base based on longevity and time. Like we have AC Comics with us. They do FemForce. They've been around since the 80s. They were like the 6th or 8th account for Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
They sell pretty damn good because they have loyal fan base that they've grown over the years. Do I think trades are good? Yes. Do I think it's a necessary medium? Absolutely. But I think this notion that ongoing series are a no-no is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's wrong. I think it's a hard financial struggle until you can get into high sale numbers, and that's why people are frown on it. But if you can weather the storm and you have a quality book and you can break through, you could be Something Is Killing the Children or Ice Cream Man, you could be Spawn, believe it or not, if you do the numbers, you don't have to sell 130,000 books a month to be a successful publisher. If you did 10 to 20,000 a month, you'd be fine.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a high number, but it's not an unattainable number. See, I don't look at things as how likely it is. I just look at it as like, is it attainable? Because I believe in me. And I believe that I can do it. And if I didn't, then what the hell am I doing? So I believe as long as there's a chance, I'm in for the fight. So I'm in for monthlies. Yeah, it's like if you put a snowball on a hill and you roll it and it stops. Right. It has time to melt a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Well, that's what happens when you put out a 5-issue series and then you don't see it anymore. And then you move on to the next series. Not only is it hard because there's no continuing, like, what's the incentive once it's gone? It's out of the public eye. Nobody's going to go back and reorder because they don't know it still exists, right? But when you have a monthly, if it catches on by the 20th issue, like, oh, now I got to get the first 19, And the other thing is, how can readers invest in characters if it's only 5 issues that you get to know the character and it's over? You got to go on a journey with a character, to be able to relate to them and want to follow them. So you need that snowball to keep going down that hill until it becomes a boulder, All
right. Fair enough. That sounds good. All right. I like to, with everyone I do these one-on-ones with, I like to play a little game. I like to do comparatives. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to throw these out to you, and then, you just pick the ones you like, and then we'll just roll. Some of them I'll ask you why you chose one over the other. I will softball you the first couple of questions, so okay. Take it easy. Batman or Captain America?
Captain America.
Okay, fair enough. Godzilla or
Godzilla. I'm sorry. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. You could say Gamera, you could say whoever. Godzilla.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Bone or Cerebus?
Bone.
Bone. Okay. Twilight Zone or Outer Limits?
Twilight Zone. There's no outer limits if there's not a Twilight Zone.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Ooh, here's an old one. Mork and Mindy or Alf?
Mork and Mindy. Robin Williams is he's hysterical. The guy's crazy. I love it.
Yep. Science fiction or fantasy?
Fantasy. I'm
Why?
a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and I think fantasy is sorely lacking. Sci-fi, there's so much that is really good. Fantasy, it's hard to get something really good in fantasy.
Okay, that's fair. Kirk or Picard?
Kirk. And I'll tell you why. I got to tell you why.
Tell me.
I believe in two things he said around the con. I don't believe in a no-win scenario, and I don't like to lose. Kirk always found a way, no matter how hopeless it looked. Kirk is the man, and he gets the chicks.
True.
And the karate chop.
Bram Stoker or Mary Shelley?
Mary Shelley.
Okay, that's fair. I do think she was the better. She had better prose.
I think so.
Okay. I have these all laid out. I have a ton of them, and it's just like I'm like, okay, Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers?
Michael Myers.
All right. Oh,
The Shape.
Pinhead or Freddy Krueger? Why and why?
That's tough. I'll go with Freddy just because he's my favorite horror character growing up. But if you want like true horror, Pinhead is the better horror character because Freddy kind of became goofy and stuff. But I'm partial to Freddy, but I understand if someone says Pinhead.
Okay, fair enough. Avengers or Justice League, and that's definite why.
It depends on which Avengers and which Justice League team, like the traditional ones led by Captain America. I'll have to go with Justice League because I'm a huge Superman fan.
Okay, that's fair. Dune 1984 or Dune 2021?
Dune 2021.
Okay, that why?
Dune 84. It didn't really go by the books very well, and it was cheesy. And it was just and I hate to say this, but I can't. What's his name? Count whatever. The sores on his face. Oh, I just couldn't look at it.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. Dave Stevens or Adam Hughes?
Oh. Slight edge to Adam Hughes.
Okay. All right, that's
edge.
fair. That's fair. Mothman or Sasquatch?
Sasquatch.
All right. Frank Miller or Alan Moore, and why?
Everybody's gonna hate me, but I think they're both extremely overrated. But I would probably go with Frank Miller, because he has more stories that I enjoy, and plus the fact that he's an artist as well. He's done a lot more. So I would go with Frank Miller.
Okay. Believe it or not, Alan Moore is a fairly accomplished artist.
Oh, is he really?
Oh yeah, he is. Actually, he really actually is. He just never drew any books. I've seen him draw a cover.
I didn't know that.
And he would actually do layouts for all of the stories.
Oh wow.
But what's funny is he would never give them to the artist because he didn't want to influence them. But he would do it for himself to keep track of them in his script.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
By the way, that's a great one, and I'm going to go with Jack Burton because I'm a huge fan of Big Trouble in Little China. Tragedy is actually like if you took Big Trouble in Little China and Kill Bill and John Wick and mixed them into a blender and then added my own crap. So Jack Burton, what was his saying? Whatever. But Jack Burton.
Wally Wood or Al Williamson? Because I know you're a big artist guy, so you know. That's a tough one, I know.
I'll go with Wallywood.
Okay, that's fair. Tim Vigil or Richard Corbin?
Richard Corbin.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Um,
Yes, it's all in reflexes. That's it.
it is. It is all of the reflexes. Yes. Manga or anime?
Anime, because I cannot read backwards. It screws me up every time.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yep. I get it because I still read manga and sometimes I get confused. Like, why is this? Oh,
I
that's
love
right.
it. I appreciate it, but I can't read backwards.
Yeah. Yep. I got you. Um, let's see. Doctor Strange or John Constantine?
I think Constantine is the more interesting character, but I think Doctor Strange has the more stories that I'd be more interested in.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Harry Potter or Narnia?
Narnia. One of the most underrated fantasy series.
Yeah, definitely. Paul Levitz or Jim Shooter?
Jim Shooter.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, rest his soul.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But what he did for the industry, I don't think people understand. He had to be the hard ass he was, and what he did was amazing for this industry.
Listen, he had Walter Simonson's run on Thor, Frank Miller's run on Daredevil, John Byrne and Chris Claremont on X-Men, John Byrne's run on Fantastic Four, Alpha Flight. There's a lot of good stuff.
Louise Simonson with her X Factor stuff, Power Pack, just great stuff, man. Yeah.
Exactly. Comic year 1986 or 1991, and why?
86.
All right, now why?
One, I'm a huge Claremont fan, and that's when X-Men was just really at its pinnacle for me in the mid 80s. Is just freaking fantastic. That's the main reason. But also just the 90s were so fantastic for art, but the writing and the stories for me in the 80s, whether it was Spider-Man, whether it was X-Men, Alpha Flight being out, I loved Alpha Flight, Avengers. It was just, there wasn't a bad book, in my opinion. It just wasn't a bad book. And then even looking at DC, DC started to get more serious with Crisis and all that stuff. So I just think the 80s are the decade for comics for me.
All right, cool.
Art and storytelling combined.
All right, cool. I got two more questions. We'll wrap this one up.
Sure.
All right. Or I got two more of these, and we'll wrap it up. Hellboy or Spawn?
Spawn, because I think Hellboy is more fun. Spawn is more layered as a character, and you can kind of relate to a lot of his pain, his loss, his decisions. So I think Spawn is the more interesting character. Hellboy is the more fun character. So I'll go with Spawn.
Okay, cool. Actually, we'll make it two. We'll still do two more questions. I'll ask you two last ones. John Byrne or George Perez?
John Byrne.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but he's one of my top artists of all time. I love Perez, and he was a wonderful human being. But John. Byrne.
All right, here's the last one. Secret Wars or Crisis on Infinite Earth?
That's a good one, and I'll tell you, I love Secret Wars except for Shooter thinking that Spider-Man could beat all the X-Men. That aggravated the hell out of me. But it also has some of my favorite covers, like the Hulk holding up the mountain and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'll go with Secret Wars. Wars. I was also a bigger Marvel guy back in the 80s.
Right. No, okay, that's fair. I mean, Phil, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me on, and thank you for asking me the serious questions and giving me a chance to clarify.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's important. Oh, in here, I'll ask you one last question. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you wanted to talk about?
I just want to say to retailers that are on board, first of all, thank you so much for working with us, giving us a shot. To those that are on the fence, I totally understand. I will earn your trust as a distributor, as I should. to those who are against this and have disparaged it, all I'm going to ask you is feel what you feel, but sit back, give it a chance to unfold. Who knows? Maybe it works out. If it doesn't, you get the bragging rights. You get to say, ha ha, I told you so. But if it does work out, it's a good thing for the industry. We should be supporting each other, lifting each other up, and all of us just looking to see what part we can do in making this industry better and thrive. Because the truth is, what worked 30 years ago doesn't work now, and the proof is in the pudding. So we're just trying something new. I am open to conversation with people. I'm not open to attacks by people. If you want to talk to me and you want to come and sit at the table, break bread, and say, well, this is my concern, this is what I was thinking, we can definitely have that conversation. If your goal is to just go on a post in a group and call me the Diamond Timu, then there's nothing to discuss. And I know, look, as a businessman, you're not supposed to bring these things up, and I get that. But honestly, I'm just an honest guy, and I get tired of the bullshit. I'm not a guy that's going to put on an act. I'm not going to put on a front. I'm not going to do any of that. I am what you get. You may not like what comes out of my mouth, but you can trust everything that comes out of my mouth. And by the way, I'm not mad. I'm just passionate. I wish everybody success. Mm-hmm. Even people that I may not want you to break bread at my table, I still want you to eat. Just eat over there, and I'll eat over here. Mm-hmm. We all love comics. We all work hard. Let's all try to be part of the solution, not the problem. That's all I want to say.
All right. There you go. Thank you so much. One last thing, Phil, where can they find you and your work, sir?
Distribution is www.philbodistribution.com. There is a tab for retailer sign up. And then there's also the publisher submission guidelines. Please go to the publisher submission guidelines. Don't just blind message me, because then I just got to send you over there anyway. I'm very busy. It's not arrogance, but a lot of people come to me like, they don't even look at the website. They're like, oh, so what do you have to offer? If you can go to the website, we're going to get a tab up there that kind of shows what we offer, what our terms are. So it's a little easier for people, but just go investigate a little bit. If it's important enough to you, go research it and then come talk to me. And then, of course, on Facebook, go to Phil Russert. That's where I put all my stuff, really, because I don't get buried by the algorithms there. Or on Instagram at Phil Russert. There's also Philbo Publishing on both platforms. And every Tuesday at 8 p.m., we have the Philbo Previews show, where we have a publisher from the catalog on, and we talk about their solicitations in the catalog. So come check that out and support Indy. Give them a chance. There are a lot of great books that you may never have heard of, but you will love if you give them a try. Just saying. So that's it.
Very nice. So I'm JD Calderon. Find me on Instagram, Kickstarter, Facebook, Twitter. Here most Fridays. I'll be back. Most Saturdays. Sundays, excuse me. See, I don't even know what day it is anymore. I think it's funny. I'm wishing it was Friday because tomorrow I have to go to work. So
yeah, exactly.
So I wish it was Friday. But yeah, most Sundays. Next Sunday I'll be back. The following Sunday I am off on vacation, so I won't be there for that one. But I'll be back the following weekend after that. So thank you, everybody, and just remember, read more indie comics, especially ours. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Listen, Phil, this was great. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And we'll put the show card up, and then I'm going to stop this stream.